Hello and welcome back to Flash AI News. So let's talk about a man who was basically the original hype man for an entire race. His name was Marcus Garvey, before Martin Luther King Jr., before Malcolm X. There was Garvey. From Jamaica, he arrived in America and started a movement so big, so bold, that it shook the world. He wasn't asking for a seat at the table. He told black people to build their own table, their own chairs, their own damn house. He was a visionary, a showman, a leader who lit a fire of self-worth in millions. Think about the early 1900s. America was deeply segregated and hostile. Emancipation's promises felt like a forgotten joke. Then Marcus Garvey appears with a powerful voice and one message: black is beautiful. He didn't just say it, he roared it. He founded the UNIA, which is the Universal Negro Improvement Association. It became one of the largest black mass movements in history, millions of members across the globe. He wanted to unite people of African descent, Harlem, Haiti, Honduras. He was the CEO of Black Empowerment. He understood symbolism. To build pride, you had to see pride. He organized massive parades in Harlem, thousands marching, magnificent uniforms, bands playing, banners flying, Black Cross nurses, the African Legion, Garvey himself riding like a head of state. For people once invisible, this was revolutionary. A nation within a nation, pure theater with profound psychological impact. When Garvey arrived in Harlem, he didn't whisper his ideas. He broadcasted them from every street corner he could find. His central message was a powerful cocktail of black pride, economic self-reliance, racial unity. It was a philosophy perfectly timed for a generation of black Americans who had migrated from the rural South to the urban North, only to find a different brand of racism waiting for them. Garvey's words were a balm for their wounded spirits. He told them to stop trying to imitate white society and instead embrace their own beauty, their own history, and their own potential. He declared God and the angels to be black, a radical idea that flipped centuries of white-centric religious imagery on its head. The core of his philosophy was what he called race first. This wasn't about hating other races, it was about loving your own. Garvey argued that for a people to be respected by others, they first had to respect themselves. And he believed that black people needed to build their own institutions, their own businesses, their own factories, their own schools, and their own governments, so they wouldn't have to rely on a system that was designed to keep them down. His newspaper, Negro World, was published in multiple languages and spread this gospel of self-love and empowerment across the globe. It refused to publish ads for skin-lightening creams, hair-straightening products, which was a revolutionary act in itself. To put these ideas into action, Garvey launched a series of ambitious economic ventures. The most famous of these was the Black Star Line, a shipping company that was meant to be owned and operated entirely by black people. Of course, when you try to build an empire, the existing empires tend to get a little nervous. The United States government, a young J. Edgar Hoover at the Bureau of Investigation, saw Garvey as a dangerous radical. Hoover was obsessed with him. He saw the UNIA's massive following, its talk of a global black nation, as a direct threat to the American social order. The government's chance came with the Black Star Line. The shipping line was a beautiful, ambitious dream, but plagued with problems. They bought old, unreliable ships at inflated prices. Trusted staff proved incompetent, others corrupt. Opponents, the press, jumped on these failures. They painted Garvey as not a visionary leader, but a con artist, stealing money from his own people. In 1922, Garvey was arrested, charged with mail fraud. The claim: Black Star Line promoted and sold stock for a ship it didn't yet own via a mailed brochure. It was a flimsy charge. It was a technicality, a legal excuse to take him down. Garvey, the showman, chose to represent himself in court. His speeches were passionate. His lack of legal training made the trial chaotic. Ultimately, Garvey was convicted in 1923, sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. He was sent to Atlanta Federal Penitentiary. From his cell, he continued to write, trying to lead from behind bars. Supporters and even some critics believed the trial was a sham, politically motivated to decapitate the black movement. His movement didn't disappear. His wife, Amy Jacques Garvey, became a fierce advocate. The cry to free Marcus Garvey echoed worldwide. Pressure mounted. In late 1927, President Calvin Coolidge commuted Garvey's sentence. But this was not a full pardon. Because he wasn't a U.S. citizen, he was deported immediately, released, put on a boat in New Orleans, and shipped back to Jamaica, never allowed to return. Many thought it was the end, but from Jamaica and later London, he kept writing and organizing. The seeds had taken deep root. You can't draw a straight line through the American civil rights movement without hitting the massive foundational stone laid by Marcus Garvey. In 2024, President Joe Biden issued a posthumous pardon for Marcus Garvey, recognizing his legacy and the injustice he faced. Garvey's vision continues to inspire generations. Thanks for watching Flash AI News. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more interesting facts about Jamaica's heroes.